Come can bring back a smile, take these tears away. My knees to nights are so unkind. Bring all nights in the hedge beside me, under my heart. Say you love me again. Hundreds hurt you cause and walked out of my life. And cried so many nights and broke my heart. Bring back the joy to my life. Don't leave me in all these tears. Kiss this pain away. I can't get the day that time so unkind. And life is so cruel without you here beside me. Shoulder, I'm burning my heart. Say you love me again. Hundreds hurt you cause when you walked out and walked out of my life. I'm crying tears that I cried so many nights and broke my heart. Don't leave me in all this pain. Don't leave me out in the rain. Bring back the nights when I held you beside me. Shoulder, my heart. Say you love me again. Let's cause you walk out the door and I heard that. I'm crying, tears so red. Cried so many nights. I'm burning my oh baby, come back and say you love me. I'm burning my sweet darling, without you I just can't go. Unbreak my heart.
She is one of the most successful female vocalists and a true R&B queen. In 1993, she won a Grammy Award for Best New Artist and has gone on to win 5 more Grammys and sell over 40 million albums worldwide. This morning, we are so excited to be spending the next hour with Toni Braxton, starting now on Private Sessions. That was Toni Braxton performing one of her biggest blockbuster hits, not to mention one of her many #1 hits, Unbreak My Heart. Toni, welcome to the show. It is so great to have you here.
This is great.
You made it. Let me just tell you, I'm so excited. First of all, your new release is called Pulse, which I love the title because, of course, without one, we wouldn't be here.
You're right. Very good. Very good.
Creative. Now, I've been reading a lot of reviews of the album, all great. One thing I keep catching a lot is that they're saying it's your most powerful and your most personal album to date. Would you agree with that?
I'd have to agree because this album to me is very personal because I never thought I would be able to record again. So being here and talking with you or just performing again, it's a dream come true again. So I feel like I'm getting a second turn, a second chance at my career.
Wow.
Yeah.
So now, throughout your career, you've put out a lot of songs that deal with heartache and love.
Yeah.
Yet you always survive in your songs as well. Is that art imitating life or life mirroring
I think
art?
it's probably a combination of both because when I sing on Break My Heart now, it's a little bit more personal because I'm like, wow, because of my heart ailment, unbreak my heart, literally. So yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, and for those of you watching who don't know, we're definitely going to be talking about that a little bit later on in the show because I know you are a spokesperson for the Heart Association.
Definitely.
But back to the album, it's so exciting because I heard you've got some hot young guys you're working with, Trey Songz.
Yes, Trey. Yes, he's great.
You've got Neo and also Robin Thicke working with. Did you guys work together and collaborate? Because I know a lot of times that comes on after you've recorded the album.
Well, with Trey and I, Trey Songz, we collaborated after. I never met him actually until we performed the song live yesterday, live on television. And I've always been a fan of Robin Thicke. I mean, I love his voice; he's incredible. And Neo is an incredible writer, so I've always wanted to work with him.
And how was it? Was it a lot of fun?
It was a lot of fun. We never worked together though. We listen after. You never work in a studio together. No one does that anymore. Yeah. You do your part, you send it to them, and then they do their part, and it kind of goes back and forth.
Wow. That's so interesting. I always find that so interesting. I mean, a lot of times
digital helps.
Yeah,
being digital.
I bet. And you can swap things now online.
Yeah, and change it up quickly.
You know, speaking of that song yesterday, you kind of sneaked that release of the song before the album came out just to kind of give a taste to your fans. How is that for you working today in social media and networking? Are you kind of an old school approach or do you like communicating with your fans?
I love communicating. I do online things all the time. I tweet.
You do?
All the time.
You tweet?
I do.
At Toni Braxton?
Toni Braxton, yep, that's it. Very simple.
Got it.
Yep.
At Lynn Hoffman?
Oh, there you go.
But there's 2 underscores between my name. No one ever knows that. And then it goes to some other Lynn Hoffman.
Oh, there's 2?
Yeah. Can you believe it?
Okay. Have you met her? Have you seen her?
No, I think she's an author. I actually think she's a he. Oh. I think it's a male Lynn.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, Lynn.
But that's good to know, especially for people watching that they can actually talk to you
all the time.
And you respond to people?
Some things I do. Some things I kind of chuckle and laugh and just enjoy it. But yeah, I do a lot. Let them know what I'm doing for the day.
But that's what nice. It kind of makes it personal.
I agree. Yeah.
Is there anything else about the new album that you want to share that we may not know about?
Oh God, this album, there's so many wonderful songs. Some songs that I loved initially and others I had to learn to love.
Really?
Yeah, there's a song on the album called Woman, and it's so emotional. I didn't feel like being emotional that day. Like for me as a singer, I try to narrate songs through my voice. And while performing that song, I was going through a separation at the time, and I was like, I don't feel like talking like this today. I don't want to talk about what my life is today. It wasn't like that yesterday, but today it was. And now that I hear the song, I go, well, you know, it's growing on me. I'm falling in love with it again.
Well, that's important because it is.
I shouldn't say again, I'm falling in love with it for the first time, I should say, yeah.
And that's even better.
Exactly. I mean, it's a wonderful, powerful song. On most of my past recordings, I talk to girls, talk to women. But this song, I'm talking to guys, how to treat us, how to get your woman, her attention. So it's more empowering for them this time.
Yeah, and it's a constant learning curve, I think, throughout life.
I agree.
Men are from Mars.
We're from Venus.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Never feel you in my arms again. If I never feel your tender kiss again. If I never hear I love you now and then. Will I never make love to you once again? Please understand if love promise you that I never leave again. I'll never leave again. And I can't stop thinking about my way that used to be. And I can't stop thinking about the love you made me. And I can't get you out of my head. And when the world would my heart, and I stand by the apple of my eye, and I stop to send you my life, and I get you out my head, and I know I keep breathing that how God you decide you won't see me again. Hey, baby, never said to the never had I love you now. Now and then, when I never make love to you once again, please understand. If love never finish it first, I'll never leave it. And I stop thinking by the way my life is. No one can stop me. Love me, then leave me. And I get you out of my mind. God knows I'm hard to ride. And if you ride out my life, God knows that surely die. And I get to do without. No way, baby. Oh boy, I can't stop you now. No, and boy, I can't get you out of my mind. I can't now. And now we die. If you decide you won't send me, yeah, if I never ever see you again, no, no, no.
That was Toni Braxton performing another one of her monster hits, Breathe Again. Now, growing up in Maryland, Toni's father was an apostolic minister and laid down some pretty strict rules for her and her 5 younger siblings, such as they couldn't celebrate Halloween, and the only music they were allowed to listen to was gospel?
Yes.
This is true.
True story.
Wow.
My dad being a minister, I sung in church most of my life. That's how I think I developed as an artist, because you have the microphone to perform in, the congregation's your audience, and the pulpit's your stage.
Yeah.
So for me, it helped me get to where I am today. By the time I got in high school, my parents became United Methodists. So things got a little better, but I remember we didn't celebrate Christmas or Halloween or any holidays.
Yeah.
So I didn't really put up a Christmas tree really till I was in college. I remember feeling pretty guilty about that.
Wow. Now,
Yeah.
just getting away from the music for a minute, because I just find this so fascinating. Not only were you not allowed to listen to popular music, which kind of, I mean, it's shocking that you ended up doing what you did. But you weren't allowed to wear, is it true, pants?
Definitely
sandals,
true.
makeup, all of these things?
Well, we were very Old Testament, King James Old Testament style. We couldn't wear sandals because that was exposing your nakedness. You couldn't wear pants because that was something pertaining to a male. And wearing makeup made you a holic. Just saying with the words they told us when I was a child.
Holic.
Yes.
And that means?
So, a worldly woman.
Oh.
I know, right?
I understand. Okay. That was such a proper
That was very tutors, right? Anyway, very old school, very traditional, almost orthodox in our teachings.
It doesn't sound like it's a bad thing, though. I mean, if you think about it.
It wasn't a bad thing, but I think because we went to a public school, that's when I noticed I was different. While when I was at church, of course, you know, all the other kids are just like me, but at public school, I was a different child. The religious, weird people that lived down the street.
Yeah. So now, when did that all? You said that they changed a little. The religion changed a little bit. Is that when?
By the time I got to high school, it got better. I got to go to my high school prom, which was great. By the time I got to college, things got better because I moved out.
That always helps.
Exactly, that helps a lot. You know, when I was 15, my parents did let me wear pants for the first time.
Yes.
I was really excited. It was super cold outside. I'm from Maryland, and it was like a blizzard outside, so I got to wear pants. By the time I got to high school, I remember when I moved out on my own, I felt a little guilty about things, but after a while I got a little bit more comfortable, and I put up a Christmas tree. I remember the year I put it up, and I blasted the music as loud as I could. It was actually Summertime by Will Smith.
Oh my God,
and
what
I
a great
blasted
song.
as loud as I could. I just felt freedom.
That is so cool. I was going to say, when do you, who were some of the artists that you first listened to, and did you have to sneak it?
I used to sneak and listen to a lot of things. I used to sneak and watch Soul Train a lot and American Bandstand. I remember that, and they were like ending at that time, but I remember it still was on the air, and that helped me a lot know what secular music was. But I loved it. I fell in love with it because my bus driver used to always play this song called Don't Stop.
What about Tomorrow?
Yeah, who sings That's Gonna Kill Me?
Oh, Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood Mac. My bus driver loved Fleetwood Mac and would always play them. So that's how I kind of learned about secular music. That was my first taste from
so interesting.
Yeah, the bus driver.
Yeah, and then you later on with the sexy outfits. Who knew?
No, I always, you know,
rebelling.
I was rebelling. I would watch movies and get inspired because I've always loved fashion, and Marilyn Monroe is my favorite, and I just fell in love with music and fashion together.
Well, it's obviously you fell in love with music because, is this an accurate story? You were singing at a gas station?
I was at a gas station at college. I put gas in my car. You know, you're always on E when you're in college.
Of course.
And this gas attendant came up to me and he said, "Are you a singer?" And I'm thinking, okay, this is a line, and it's a terrible line. Because I was singing around all over the city at the opening of a Band-Aid, whatever they had, I would sing at it.
Right.
And he said, "I've seen you sing around the city. I'm like a producer, and I have a studio in my home, and I would love for you to come and do some demos." I know, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking,
in my
okay,
home.
right, what does that mean? But I took a risk.
Yeah.
But I took my girlfriend in case he was cuckoo.
Good job.
But it turned out to be legit. He's the guy who co-wrote the song "Girl You Know Is True" by Milli Vanilli.
No way.
Yes, and he was working as a gas attendant because the song was just starting to happen in Europe.
Yeah.
And I guess he had to have a job. He had to work in the meantime. And from there, I got connected to LA and Babyface, which were subsidiaries of Arista Records as well.
Right. And starting off, before you did any albums, you ended up lucking out on a soundtrack for the Eddie Murphy movie Boomerang. What was it? Just because? I mean, did you call Anita Baker and say thank you for being pregnant?
I have thanked her a bazillion times. It's definitely because of her that I'm in this chair right now in the studio.
Really?
Yes. Because she was supposed to do the songs for the Boomerang soundtrack. Ellie and Babyface had the soundtrack, and I did the demos. And she couldn't do it for whatever personal reason. She was pregnant or whatever, what have you. And she said, "Well, what's wrong with the girl singing it? Won't you guys use her?"
Now, when you say demo, people watching at home not necessarily know. It's kind
true.
of something that you do
when writers write songs. Babyface is a writer and a singer.
Right.
He wrote in LA. They wrote the song for Anita Baker, but they wanted a female's voice on it. So instead of Babyface singing it to show her how the song goes, because he wrote it, he had me perform the vocals. Yeah.
And you probably never knew who your vocals and demos were going to?
I had no
You just
idea.
sang
Just
them and
do it. And
Wow,
one of the
that's so
songs was "You Mean the World to Me."
Yeah.
"Love Should Have Brought You Home." Great songs like that were for her.
You
And I
sang
got
all of them first for her before she even sang
Exactly.
them.
They became mine. They were the actual demos that they used, which was great. Yeah.
So ultimately that led to your release of your debut album, your self-titled. Did you imagine at all that debut was going to shoot out like 8 million albums sold?
I didn't know that, but I always knew it was going to happen. I used to
did?
dream about it all the time.
Really?
All the time.
Did you speak it a lot?
I spoke it often. I would always tell my brother I'm going to work with Babyface because I was a huge Babyface fan. My brother teased me. He always says, I have to give it up to you because you always said your life is exactly what you said it was going to be. I never imagined on this magnitude, I have to be honest, but I always said I'm going to work with Babyface one day.
Wow, that really goes to show you the power of positive thinking and just believing what you want.
Yes, that's the great thing that my parents taught us.
I've got goosebumps.
It's just another sad love song in my brain, crazy. Some more torn up and so slow, it doesn't go. Shake me, it's only since you've been gone, I've been thinking about you, baby. Pay my mind, didn't help me. I just acknowledged the mistake. Soon as I get you by my head, I'm in my car again. Ooh, darling, just one request from the baby. I'm back in love, so it's just another sad love song in my brain.
That was Toni Braxton performing another one of her chart-topping hits, another sad love song. Now, after becoming an international superstar to the outside observer, Toni's life looked like a roller coaster. In 1997, she filed for bankruptcy. Yet a year later, she was making history, headlining a Disney musical on Broadway, and then found out that her second son was diagnosed with autism, and made history again, headlining a successful run in Las Vegas, only to have a health scare when she had a mini heart attack.
Yeah.
This is incredible to me that all of this happened in such a short amount of time, and you really, well, you really handled yourself so beautifully. I just want to know where you got the strength and courage while also keeping to keep going and also keeping it so positive on the outside.
I think for me, my family and my family values. I have to be honest, there are good days and bad days. I have to be honest about that.
You're human.
Yeah, but through it all, I think my strong sense of belief and my faith has helped me through a lot of things.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just hard to fathom anyone going through all of that stuff and also being out in the public.
Some days it's a bit challenging because your life is out there, but I'm very fortunate. I don't have people lurking in bushes and things like that. I'm very fortunate with that. But I think it all began for me when I filed the bankruptcy in '97. And what a lot of people don't know, like, it's this rumor, oh, she spent all her money. They don't know. They don't know I never received money. Well, no, let me retract that. I did receive a royalty check, but it was for less than $2,000. So that's what people don't know, because for a long time, for 10 years, I couldn't discuss it.
Right.
So
didn't you also, isn't that kind of why you ended up on Broadway? Because it was something that you had to do while this stuff was going on?
Well, I
legally?
did Broadway because they had asked me before the bankruptcy. And I said, maybe.
Yeah.
And then I said no when I filed bankruptcy. I said no.
Oh, how did you turn it around?
A dear friend of mine said, you shouldn't say no, you should do this. This is good for you to get your mind off of everything you're going through, and it's a great thing. You're going to be the first African-American in a non-African-American role.
Well,
this
that's
is
what I was going to say. Not only that, but the first African-American in a Disney Broadway musical on Broadway.
Exactly. So that's why I said yes. But at first I said no, because I thought it would be too much being in the public eye with the bankruptcy. And I went back and said yes.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you is, like, at that time, did you realize that you were kind of making history?
I didn't
or
think
is it
about
just too
it
much
then.
pressure?
It was like, once I considered it, my friend said, you should do it. This is a good thing. They've never, you're African American. They're asking you to do this show. This is a great thing for you. So I said yes, and it was wonderful. It got my mind off the bankruptcy. It got my mind off all the stress. It has happened to so many different artists who's had to file bankruptcy for reasons such as mine.
Right.
Because you saw all these records, and your royalty statement comes back and is minute. Happened to me, happened to TLC, and we were all label mates. We were all on the same label. What people don't know, that it was cut up so much. It's BMG, it's Aris, it's LaFace, and then it's the artist. Yeah. Mine was cut up like 3 or 4 times. So it was a bit challenging because I felt ashamed and embarrassed, and I felt that people thought it was my fault. So I'd lived with that for a long time, and that still follows me, because if you go to Toni Braxton, Google, the bankruptcy is that. But I have to get past that myself.
You also made history headlining when you took over for Mr. Wayne Newton Donkashane at the Flamingo. And it was only supposed to be like 3 months, but it ended up stretching out for 2 years.
Yeah, a little short of 2 years. I love Vegas. It's the best place in the world to me.
And when I say history, by the way, it was one of the top 10 shows in Vegas. Again, held position by an African American.
Yes, I'm very proud of that. Very, very proud of being a pioneer.
awesome song.
Thanks.
I've seen you performing it all over. I'm so honored that you did it here in our studios.
Thanks, of course.
We have a little surprise for you. If you happen to catch a show, maybe you remember that we have people, fans, friends that like to come on the show and surprise our guests.
I'm ready.
You are?
I'm ready.
Well, take a look.
Okay.
Hey, Toni. Hey, Lynn. Now, Toni, we all love vintage Toni Braxton.
That's so great.
On this new album, what can we expect?
Well,
With us both being working girls, how are you able to balance it and keep it all in order?
okay, I love her. Good surprise. Good one. Yes, I love Monique. She's one of my favorites. How did you know that?
She's amazing. We have our ways.
That's good. That was good. Oh, that was heartfelt. How do I balance everything? I'm not sure. Some days I have everything under control, and then the next day it's all falling apart. Being a mom and being an entertainer, it's definitely challenging. And my youngest son, Diesel, I have two boys, Denim and Diesel. The youngest one suffers from autism, so I'm pretty busy often when I'm at home.
You've got your hands full.
Yeah, my hands are quite full. And when I'm at work, I feel guilty sometimes. And when I'm with them, I'm like, well, I'm ready to go back to work, and I feel bad for feeling that.
You got to feed yourself, though, in order to be good for them.
Exactly.
You know.
I tell myself that, but there are some days I'm having not so good a days, but I love doing what I do. I love being a mom, and I love performing, and it's the best feeling in the world.
Awesome. And I think the other thing Monique wanted to know is what can we expect on the album?
Well, let's see. What can you expect from this album? I think you can expect to have organic Toni Braxton. I was trying to do things that was indigenous of who I am as a performer, but at the same time I wanted to make it current. I wanted to make it like fashion. You have to be mainstream and change it up, but not so much where the people couldn't tell distinctively who I am as a performer. Right. So I think I did a good job at balancing it.
Monique had mentioned something about balance, and you know, speaking of balance, on top of all the things that you had just mentioned, you're also the spokesperson for the American Heart Association and for Autism Speaks.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, starting on the autism, how do you feel as a society, how far we have come for diagnosing it early? Because I know that's one of the biggest problems. Are we making any progress there?
I think we've made tremendous progress. I think, for me, I was very fortunate. I found out when my son was 3.5 years old, and I think doctors are cognitive. They're paying attention now. And I remember at first we thought perhaps he was hearing impaired. He didn't answer to his name. He wasn't very social. He didn't have any eye contact. But I think they're doing testing now at an early age at 1.5 to conclude, or I should say, find out if the kid's autistic or not, which is great. Right. I remember there was a kid in my school when I was a little kid that was probably autistic, looking back. Yeah. And they didn't know what, they thought he was a behavior problem, and he was not. It was just he was probably trying to find his way in mainstream society. So I think it's great how they are all these findings or these studies are helping families and kids with this disorder.
Wow, that's
great.
So
we're very fortunate. So I always tell people with early diagnosis, I swear to you, it makes a lifetime of a difference.
Wow, and it's so wonderful that you were able to, get behind the cause and help. I'm sure they've been very appreciative as well. I know, that's the pin.
That's my pin. We're going to find that piece, the missing
piece. Oh my
piece.
goodness. And every time I read about your story, I'm just like, man, that woman has just been through so much. I can't believe it. You were diagnosed with, is it angina?
You know what? I say angina because when I say angina, some guys, especially, sorry guys, they kind of look down. You have what? Angina? I'm like, okay, it's up here. It's the heart. It's up here.
Let's make sure. It's very common in young women?
Very common in young women, yeah. They're finding a lot of cases. They're obviously misdiagnosed initially.
Sorry, I'm just trying to change the subject.
I know, I'm sorry.
I'm thinking all the guys at home like,
too much information, I'm sorry.
No, it's good. More people should talk about this stuff. Then other people don't feel so
exactly, because I was mortified. I was crazy when they told me, because at first they thought I needed a heart transplant.
I read that.
Yes,
and you got
that
a
is
second
a true
opinion?
story. No, then they came back later and said, we misdiagnosed you.
Oh. Were you on a list for a heart transplant?
Well, we were going to talk about it the next day or two. I was in the hospital, and they told, I was devastated.
I mean, an ear, but a heart? Like, that's...
Yeah. It was a pretty scary moment for about, 2 weeks.
I bet.
Pretty touch and go there, but I was very fortunate that it was microvascular angina, and with medication and cardiac rehab and things like that, I got myself together. But I was very depressed for a long time. I remember it being challenging to walk from my bed to the bathroom. I was out of breath for a long time, and you have to be able to walk that half a mile to get up to that mile. I remember I thought I would never be able to do it. That's why I thought I would never be able to perform.
That's what I was, during this time at all, did you write? Did you come up with ideas?
I didn't do anything. I was depressed. I was really down and feeling sorry for myself and felt hopeless and thought that life for me was over. And my mom had to talk to me often. She said, you know, you have 2 kids to live for. You have to get out of this space. This is not good. And when I went to cardiac rehab, it was this older lady in cardiac rehab. She said she was like 50, but clearly she was around 70 or 80.
Yeah.
And she was wonderful. She was like a little cupcake. Her hair was like strawberry blonde, her lipstick on, and she was walking on a treadmill in like high heel sneakers. And she said, what are you doing here? You must have had a heart attack. You know, this is my 4th heart attack. I just got back from Cabo with my 40-year-old boyfriend. You can't be afraid of life. You gotta live, you gotta live. And that one statement sparked me, gave me that feeling of life again.
My guest and my new BFF, Toni Braxton, is here. We're almost out of time.
Oh.
I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your tour. Where are you going, and where can people see you?
I'm super excited. It's not till the fall, but
Okay.
I'm going everywhere, a worldwide tour, and that's the first in a long time, so I'm so looking forward to it.
That's big. Are you bringing the family?
Well, it's the fall, so the kids will be in schools.
Oh,
but I'm going to
perfect.
bring them in and out a lot.
That's right.
I'm going to bring them. They'll be with me here and there.
All right. I heard a little rumor about a couple of ladies that you might be touring with, maybe Leona Lewis, or...
We've been talking about it. People have been discussing it, so we'll see.
Really?
Yeah, girl power is great.
All right, we have a little surprise for you, Toni.
I love surprises.
We like to surprise people with friends and fans here on the show, as you know, and this person actually heard you were going to be here and said, oh, I got to talk to her.
Okay.
Check it out.
Okay.
Hi, Toni. Hi, Lynn. Private Sessions. How did the concept of Unbreak My Heart come about?
Oh my
Did you
God.
ever think the idea that Billy had when he was shooting the video would be this iconic?
He's still super cute,
I've never seen
right?
him with the beard. He looks so cute. Doesn't even look like him.
He's so super cute. Great eye candy. Oh my God, Mike, I love him. The idea came for the video. One of my favorite movies is A Star Is Born.
Yeah.
One of my favorite movies.
Have
with
you ever
Barbra
met
Streisand.
Babs?
No. Oh yes, I have. Yes. Quickly. Hi.
Hi,
Nice to
bye.
meet you. But I never met her. Got to talk to her like I'm
Yeah.
speaking with you. She was absolutely great. But I was a huge fan. Hence the curly hair. I did the accident, the motorcycle accident.
Oh, that
with
was-
Mike. All from that movie. One of my favorite movies. So I was inspired by that. And Billy Woodruff, great video and movie director. And I never thought the video and the movie would be as great as it was, because at first everyone said the video sucked. They said it sucks. You need to go and shoot another one. True story.
What do you say to that?
Right? So now look at it. And Billy did some quick editing to it and begged MTV to play it, and hence here we are today.
Here we are
So
today.
I never thought that would happen that way.
Wow.
Yeah. Great surprises. I love it here.
Oh my God, I've had so much fun with
Me
you this
too.
hour. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lynn. It's
And
been
I wish
great.
you nothing but the best.
Thanks.
And good luck with the new album and the tour and the family. And
Yes.
come back and visit us
I
again.
promise.
Don't leave me in all this pain. Don't leave me out in the rain. But in my own eyes, when I heard you beside me, showed say you love me again. That's how you walk out the door.
You can't take your eyes off it. A real movie star.
Can pretend that you mean nothing to me. It's hard enough to say goodbye, even when you know it's over. 'Cause I don't wanna be your friend, I wanna be your lover. I don't wanna be your friend, I wanna be your lover. 'Cause I don't I wanna be your